Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Beer Reviews. Tonight, we're going back to the wonderful set of Danes known as Mikkeller. This time we've got Drinking the Sun. Drinking in the Sun, I should say, with a wonderful topless lady on the front of it. You can't see anything, fellas, so don't try looking too hard. They've got a designer now, a guy from Philadelphia, I want to say, who does most of their bottle work now, and his name completely eludes me at the moment, but he has this is his style, you know, you might have seen this more often on Mikkeller's beers recently. I really like it, I really like the artwork. I've always liked the artwork of Mikkeller beers, so regardless, so pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, as you probably saw when I was holding up, this is 0.3%, so it is essentially alcohol free. I think beers have to be 0.5% or lower to class as alcohol-free in English legal terms, so which is why you can have a shandy if you're a kid sort of thing. And this one in particular is brewed with pale wheat and Cara red malt. I think Hvede, or Hvede, is wheat, and it uses Amarillo and Tetananga hops as well. So it looks like it is. Yes, it is American style wheat ale. There we go. It says it on the side of it. So American style wheat ale, this fella, and it was brewed in the Proof Brewery in Belgium, because as you know, Mikkeller's a gypsy brewery. All the Mikkeller guys are gypsy brewers. I think there's 8 of them at the moment who go around and do brews. So let's crack this open. Oi. And see what we get. Now, I'm interested in this because obviously being 0.3% and pretty much alcohol free. You know, I like my big high percentage beers. Look at that, that's nice. That is lovely, actually. I like my big high percentage beers because they are full of flavour. So it's interesting to see a beer that is trying to go the other way. Many brewers have tried it, of course, with limited success in some cases. Other cases, more success. So I'm always interested to see if you can't rely on alcoholic, you know, kapow or huge heavy hitting malt flavours, how do you add in those extra notes? There's sort of things that keep you interested, and it's not just a weak, watery and bland version of an alcoholic beer. So, in terms of look, it is a gorgeous straw colour, wonderful peachy colour, massive amounts of head retention because it's a wheat ale. There's going to be loads, and it's just about 2 finger head. Oh, I've done the daft thing again, switch me on this around. Give me a sec. Anyway, and there's tons of chill haze on this because I've had it chilled for a little while, which is my own fault, but it would be hazy anyway because it's a wheat ale. So, turn off screen. There we go. So we kind of expect that anyway. Right, let's get in the nose in for some aromas. Oh, wowzers. Good lord, it really smells like a full-blown, massive IPA, actually. There's a real wheat spiciness, like cloven, sort of banana to it. I mean, today we just at the hop shooter we brewed a beer, and we used quite a lot of wheat malt in it because it's going away for bottlings to try and get some body and head retention in it. And we're using torrefied wheat and just chucking that in our lager. And that smell of the torrefied wheat, it's such a pungent smell. You can see why people first thought, well, maybe wheat would be good in a beer. I'm getting that banana and cloveness right on the top of it. And then I'm getting a ton of... Oh, I'm getting like a ton of tropical fruit, actually. I know it's the Amarillo, it's citrus, and it's juicy peaches and orange. But it's spicy and it's grassy from the Tetananga and a bit of earth to it as well. So as you can probably tell, it's got quite a complex aroma considering. I can smell quite a bit of wheat. I can smell this glorious, juicy fruit smell, and I can also get a bit of earthy, grassy. Yeah, it does. It's really quite grassy actually, like a lager-esque, a good proper Bohemian lager hop smell, you know. That's what I'm kind of getting here, so it does smell interesting. Right, without further ado, let's get in there. Cheers. Okay, yeah. I can see this has been carbonated quite vigorously to give it a bit more mouthfeel. And do you know, it actually holds up pretty well. The initial sip is quite, I'd say, quite medium bodied in terms of mouthfeel, and then it just loses it towards the edge a bit. Just at the end, when the carbonation's kind of fizzes out, it gets a little bit watery at the end. But the mainstay, it's quite chunky, and that was my major thing, or is always my major thing with low percentage beers. They lose body, and I think body actually contributes a lot more to your experience than you think it does. In terms of flavour, however, this is punching. Absolutely kick-ass. I mean, like I said, it smells like it could be a full-blown high percentage IPA. It tastes like it could be as well, let me tell you. I'm getting humongous banana and clove notes from the wheat. I'm getting this nice caramelly, juicy sweetness at the back of the palate too. I'm getting grassy notes. I'm getting juicy orange and grapefruit. It has got a whack of bitterness. Really quite strong in terms of bitterness. Again, I'm assuming here. I'm assuming the final gravity. Well, the final gravity would have to be quite high for it to be non-alcoholic, but it has this sweet twinge to it, so it's probably being kept deliberately quite high, almost to try and counterbalance the amount of hops that are being put into it, and I think it works. It's got a real bite to it, and it feels like you're drinking something so much stronger, but the sweetness just takes the edge off it, so it's not absolutely overcloying, and it holds up the hops quite well, so you can distinctly taste them quite a bit. Now, what is interesting about this beer is that I think there is also a slightly higher percentage one, as in 0.2% higher, so I think it's a 0.5% one as well. I got this from the Brewdog website, I might add. And I almost bought both to do like a side by side, but in the end I thought, no, I want to go for the lower percentage of the two and see how Mikkeller have dealt with having a very low percentage alcohol beer. I mean, actually, do you know what? It's really tasty, and I would probably have it. I'll probably have it several times. It is pretty yummy. You could not tell that this was 0.3%. You really couldn't. I'm only clutching at straws when I say the mouthfeel just twinges off towards the end. I genuinely am. It's got a lovely sweetness. You can taste abundance of hops. It's got a delightful bitterness. The mouthfeel is good. The carbonation's nice and heavy to aid it. This is a really good beer. A really good beer. In terms of rating, I think I'll probably give it 8.5 out of 10. Mainly being that, I don't particularly like my beers when they are too sweet, and I think perhaps the sweetness maybe get a bit cloying. I said I could have several of these, and I'm sure I could, especially at the ABV. I could definitely have several. I could have an entire evening's worth of these, and probably, not that I'd ever try it, be able to drive still. But the sweetness, I think, get a bit too cloying for me. And apart from that, there's nothing really huge amount else that's I could say about this beer. It's just not going to be. It just isn't going to be as hugely wow factor-ish as a huge imperial stout. Although it could really pass itself off as a good bitter pale ale or IPA. So yeah, pretty brilliant. But if I was comparing it again to a pale ale or an IPA, there were definitely ones better out there. Just trying to justify my score, of course. But please tell me if you've ever tried this. Interesting, just solely because of the ABV. Interesting because of the flavour as well. Really enjoying it. Like, favourite, comment, subscribe, all of the usual business. And until the next beer review, cheers.